Can we skip to the good part? What the hell did you just say?
Congratulations, feminism. We did it, y'all. We have equality. Now men can beat us in everything. They can even beat us in beauty contests. We did it. Now men can beat us in sports, in beauty contests, and they can take our scholarships that are for biological women. So you know what? I am so happy. I'm so grateful for all of the internalized misogyny that's out there. Keep going. Keep proving to everyone that this is a load of...
What did you say?
It's only fair, right? This is the equality that y'all wanted, right? Right? This is exactly what happens when you exceed biology, when you exceed boundaries in an effort, in an attempt to make everyone happy. Now bathe in your equality. All right, guys, I finally did it. I just finished creating the last video module for the modern man's playbook. Listen up. We're experiencing a cultural shift right now, and if you're not on the top of your game, you will get left behind. You need a roadmap on how to navigate the current state of affairs that modern day society is putting you through. If I had this information earlier on in life, trust me, it would have saved me a lot of time. In this, we're going to cover how to identify toxicity in modern women today, red flags to look out for and why, how to develop rock-solid masculine frame, and again, much, much more. And that's just the start, gentlemen. I'm only going to be plugging this for a limited time at this price. So guys, click the link down below to get access, and we'll see you on the other side.
All that stuff the Bible says about women, right? It's so good. What? No, it says women are inferior to men. What are you doing? Looking for where it says women are inferior to men. Oh, it's in there. It's not in there. The culture at the time treated women as subservient to men, but the gospel set men and women as equal. There's all that stuff about women having to submit to men. There are 7 main passages that reference women and submission. 5 of those are specific to the marriage relationship. The other 2 are specific to church roles. 0 of them say that all women have to submit to all men. Even in marriage, men shouldn't have more power. The most comprehensive passage on this is in Ephesians. It's a total of 12 verses. 3 pertain to a woman's role in the marriage. The remaining 9 are about the husband. See, 75% of the power given to the man. No. These verses explain that the husband is responsible for the physical and spiritual health of his wife. Plus, he's committed to cherish her and love her as himself. And he is described as one flesh with his wife. Can you imagine how radical this was in a culture that treated women like property? So a husband is supposed to be nice. That's the bare minimum. Not just nice. These verses compare the husband-wife relationship to the Jesus-church relationship, telling the husband to be willing to lay down his life for his wife. Still, a wife shouldn't have to submit. You still have a problem with the word submit. What do you think it means? That a wife just has to do whatever her husband says? No translation from the original Greek defines this word to be blanket obedience, that a wife is forcibly under absolute control of her husband. Rather, most interpretations mean to voluntarily place oneself under an authority. In light of everything a husband is supposed to be, this doesn't seem all that frightening. I just can't get on board with submission.
You know, just real quick before they keep going on, it is absolutely mind-boggling to me that how many women across how many different race, creed, color, religions still ascribe this tyrannical form of definition to submission. It never ceases to amaze me, but it's just like, can you step outside your feelings and try to understand what it could actually mean? That might help. Let's keep going.
I think it's good to remember this instruction was being written to new Christ followers, many of whom likely had spouses that weren't Christ followers yet. And some propose that the Greek word for submit used in this passage was a word primarily used for military efforts. It translates to deploy yourself under, and that it was a metaphor for military type support. Rather than describing women as merely submitting in terms of obedience, it could also mean something more like go to battle for. A few verses later, we read about putting on the full armor of God. Kind of supports this battle interpretation. Imagine the difference in our attitude towards these verses if we read it as go to battle for your husband versus
Big true.
Submit yourself to your husband. So like a woman warrior for Christ? You could say that. This passage was quite empowering for women during a time where women were not empowered. First, by saying that wives can be a conduit by which their husbands come to Christ. Two, by explicitly stating that a wife should be treated as an equal by her husband.
What I love about this particular video is that it is completely dismantling the idea that there's certain things placed within doctrine or even, the Bible that is made to oppress women, but instead was made to give them power in a time when they had absolutely, fundamentally, no power at all. There's simply a lot of revisionist history that goes on in the streets. And what do I mean by that? People taking the history of something and completely revising it in order to fit their point and or their narrative. Off me, wench. Listen up. The downfall of every strong man is not a woman. Pay attention. The downfall of every strong man is that man's inability to control his desire for that woman.
When a man does not feel appreciated in the area of his presence, he becomes a version of a man that he can give you and still survive. And I promise you, you will not like that version.
Or he just leaves, which is what I've been telling a lot of young men to do. Don't try to overcombat their lack of appreciation with a survival mentality. There's way too many women out there in order for you to be doing that. Move on.
That version of him is silent, frustrated, sharp with his words, short-tempered.
Yeah, he becomes a zombie.
Y'all been getting that lately. Non-communicative, because he has to become something that he can survive in. When a man does not feel...
This is 100% true, which is why, you become stripped of who you are. So you become this, you get into the survival mechanism, right? This defensive mechanism where it's now like, as long as she's happy, as long as she's correct, as long as she feels honored and supported, then all is good. That's how you get happy wife, happy life. And you get these sad, weak, pathetic versions of men that have been stripped away because they said, I do on bended knee, but didn't realize that they were signing a contract in front of their wife, but also the state. And at the point that they decide to break that up, they can use that as leverage to extract anything. Because modern women today have been conditioned that if you do not treat them like a princess throughout marriage, that you can send them to the divorce court dungeon with zero remorse.
Okay, I'm in line right now, and these crazy motherfuckers, I just had this bow on all night, where I'll show you the pictures. She just ripped it off of me. Karen alert, crazy bitches, crazy bitch right here. Crazy bitch, craziest bitch I've ever met in my life. Yes.
Oh, honey, you haven't seen crazy yet.
What do you want to do? You want to fight? It's funny. Are we going to fight? Let's square up.
Let's square up.
Square up?
By the way, before they square up, I don't know if they're really about to fight. They both sound crazy, right? So what it sounds like is that the woman over here took this purple thing off of her neck for whatever reason, and this lady is not giving it back. So I think it's true. I'm assuming this lady's been drinking as well, because there's a White Claw that's right over yonder. I don't know why this says toxic masculinity. Maybe they're poking fun at that women also get in these altercations as well. Let's see. Are you about to box an old woman?
That's what it's looking like. You're a crazy fucking bitch.
She did put him up.
Good night, you crazy fucking bitch.
You can pretty much see her viscous innards from here, which is whatever.
Perfect. I can't believe that. That's like the craziest thing I've ever seen.
You have a...
And I was showing you my pictures.
I definitely see. I don't know why you would. I don't
Shut the fuck
Of her daughter.
You're literally a crazy fucking person. Why would someone take the boa off it like...
That's what I'm
How
wondering.
entitled are you that you think that I would take that off of your daughter?
Oh, how entitled are you?
You sound like a crazy person.
Oh, so it sounds like she's accusing her of taking the boa off of her daughter. Here's the thing. The color of that boa doesn't match anything in her outfit. Could it be that she just picked it up off of the ground? Or maybe the mother saw her take it. Let's keep going.
Yes, because you just ripped that off of my neck like a psychopath. You're a psychopath.
No, I think you are.
You're a fucking psychopath. Oh my god.
That is pretty crazy just to rip it off.
Car, you crazy bitch.
Hey, so she did steal the boa. So my mom was the said crazy lady in that video. This is my friend Cassie, and this is us before the show started. If you look at her,
What is that?
you don't have to look very closely, but she's wearing a maroon boa that matches her shoes, matches her earrings, and it's matching her nails. Not that anyone have the inside information, but these feathers are flying around our hotel room, and they are in our merch bags. After the show ended, we went to the bathroom. And while we were in line for the bathroom,
They saw her with it
I
on.
said something about a boa, and Cassie realized that hers was missing off her neck, but the girl behind us was randomly wearing the same exact one.
Even in times where two women are fighting, this woman over here had the audacity to write toxic masculinity as if prescribing that she has masculine confrontational behavior, thereby prescribing that men inherently are toxic by nature. It's just ridiculous to me how men still get brought up into these conversations when it has nothing to even do with us. Shame on you, ladies. Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. What you guys think about the collection of clips and videos here today? Let me know down in the comment box down below. Let's continue to encroach on this conversation. All right? Until next time, you two. Peace!